Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. It's been a really long time since I posted a video. I've been reposting some of my shorts from my Instagram reels in the last month or two, trying to share some of that information over here as well. And I have the bandwidth right now to be here on YouTube as well. I have been a lot more active on Instagram over the last year, and that's because it's just a lot easier to make content on there because, you know, I can make posts with writing, no need to edit videos, and it's a lot easier to post on stories as you go throughout your day. So I do have a lot of stuff on there, and I'll have my Instagram linked below. So if you want to look through some of my posts, it's more of like inspirational natural birth stuff. That's something you're interested in, then check it out. I really appreciate everybody who's joined in the last year, and those of you who continue to be here and have been here for a long time and continue supporting me. Thank you so much. Motherhood is something that is just very unexpected, and it just takes you by surprise very often, and it's a huge priority of mine to just be present with my family. And so when I find that I have more time and energy, then it can overflow into hobbies like this. But if I don't, then it just goes to my family first. And now my smallest is getting a little older, more independent, and so I have more time and energy now that I can devote to this, because I do have a lot of stuff that I want to share that has been so helpful to me and that God has been teaching me in motherhood and in just family life and birth work, and I would love to share it with you guys. My next few videos are going to be more informational around natural birthing. So if you're not interested in that, I totally understand. I am extremely passionate about natural birth. It's been absolutely life-changing for me. It's changed how I mother, it's changed my faith, it's just impacted my life so greatly, and I want you all to experience what I've experienced as well. And so I'm gonna be sharing a lot of things that I have written in my Instagram posts and in my blog posts. I'm gonna be sharing here. That's what you can expect from me this year, along with some other fun content, like I need to do an updated mom and baby essentials. The last one I did, I think, was in like 2020, which is still very popular, but I have become way more minimalistic since then. So it's gonna be fun to update that. And if you guys have any other ideas of things that you wanna learn or hear or see, then just comment below, and I would greatly appreciate it, because then I know what kind of stuff I can share with you guys. Over the last year, I've had so many changes in my life. Well, more like over the last 2 years. We moved from San Diego, California to Mexico. That was a very fun venture. We really enjoyed our time there, and we thought we were gonna live there for at least 2 years, but it turned out to be 8 months that we stayed for many reasons. A big reason was it was just kind of lonely for me. Prior to moving there, we lived in the countryside, and it was a very drastic change to go from the countryside to living in like a residential area where everything's like concrete, and the kids were just playing outside in the front yard, and it's all concrete. It was just very hard. A huge life hack that I've learned is to do everything that you can to live on a rural piece of property, because then your kids can just roam free outside all day, and you have a lot more time to get things done around the house, cooking, cleaning, do hobbies. Like, it's just a lot easier for everybody. And for your kids, they love being outside. At least mine do. It's very healthy for them. Anyway, so that's why we cut our timeline short, and it was a huge God thing because everything just fell into place very last minute. I mean, we didn't even have a place where we were gonna live a day before my flight, and literally the afternoon before the day we were supposed to fly out, God just provides the perfect location for us to stay here where we are now on the East Coast. I mean, it was stressful. I was like, God, it would be nice to not do things so last minute, but I understand that this is testing my faith and strengthening my faith and putting my trust in Him. Where we live now is just, it's incredible. We're renting here, so we're not gonna be here permanently, but it's still on a homestead, and our landlords are just the kindest people, and we garden together, we have chickens together, and it's just really beautiful. There's lots of land. We have a forest in our backyard. We have a creek in our backyard. It's very safe for our kids. It's just It's so lovely, and we are just extremely blessed. And it was within our budget too. I mean, our house is kind of small. It's a 1 bed, 1 bath. We still bed share with our 2 kids. Once our youngest is old enough and ready to leave and go to her own space, then we're gonna move both of our daughters out together into their own room. But for now, 1 bedroom is fine for us. We have a huge family bed where we bed share. The 1 bathroom is getting kind of tricky, but it's nothing that we can't deal with, and we've dealt with it before. So we're here now until God opens up the door to something a little bigger. We just came back from spending 2 weeks in Florida over the holidays, and we had an Airbnb there that was a little bigger than this, and it was just, now that we're back, it just feels very small here. Now that we have that comparison. But regardless, we are still very blessed to have a wonderful place to stay. We've just really enjoyed our time here. We've been here for about 6 to 8 months in our new home, and it's just been such a blessing. We have all been thriving here. I also spent all of last year, starting from November 2023 to November of 2024, doing a doula/birthkeeper training that's faith-based called Heart Mother Journey, that was created by 2 of my wonderful friends. One is a birthkeeper and one is a midwife. It was such a blessing. I've done other doula trainings. I've read a lot. I know a lot. I don't think there's any other training out there that's like this one. It was such a blessing, and it completely changed my walk with God. It's very rooted in my faith. It took a lot of my time and energy to do it. It's very comprehensive. Last year, with the changes and with the Heart Mother Journey course, I had so much on my plate that I wasn't very active on Instagram, not active on here at all, not active on my blog. I was just kind of at home doing my priorities. And now that that is done, I feel like I have a lot more time and energy to dedicate to other interests like this, and like learning how to play guitar. It's never too late to start new hobbies, even if you're a mother of young kids. I feel like it always gets easier once your youngest gets closer to being around 2 and is more independent. Then you get a lot more time and energy, at least in my experiences. So that's been fun. So that's been my life over the past year and a half. I've done a lot of unlearning and deconstructing in a lot of areas in my life, especially in my faith. And I feel like I've just grown so much, and I'm just very blessed and content in where I am. I'm so grateful to God for just all the stretching He's been doing in me, all the resources He's put in my path. I'm just really excited to share more as time and energy and priorities permit. You guys have asked some questions on YouTube in some of my community posts, so I'm just going to answer them here. One question was, why did you decide to go for a wild pregnancy? A wild pregnancy is a pregnancy where you don't seek any medical care during your pregnancy. The traditional societal standard of care for pregnancy is going to the OB every few weeks and getting all your vitals done and monitoring everything. And wild pregnancy kind of returns to our original design of respecting pregnancy and birth as just another natural physiological process that our body knows how to do, and it doesn't need any intervention unless our body tells us that it does, unless it needs some extra help, and then you seek more assistance. With my first pregnancy, I started out with obstetrical care for the first few weeks, and I didn't like it. It was very impersonal. The visits were very short. It was very clinical. It just didn't sit right with me, and so I pursued care from a group of midwives in a birth center, and I liked that a lot more, but it was still clinical to a degree. And with my second pregnancy, my most recent one, after all the unlearning I've done over the years of what pregnancy and birth really are and what they need, it just felt right to treat it not like a sickness or a disease, but just another day in a life and just something that our body knows how to do. And it was wonderful. I greatly enjoyed my pregnancy. It was not filled with worry or fear. I just trusted my body, my baby, my physiological design, because it was designed by somebody who is so wise, and he designed us to reflect his perfection, and I trusted that. And I really enjoyed my pregnancy. It was amazing, and I would only do it that way again if, like I said, if there's no signs that my body body is giving me that I need more medical attention, then I would do it this way. And I'm a healthy woman and I don't expect to have any issues. I mean, we never know, and I pray and hope that all my future pregnancies are just as eventless and normal and just another day to enjoy pregnancy and connect with my baby, connect with my body, and just prepare to accept another child in our family. Somebody asked whether the root cause protocol has continued to be helpful to me. There's things in there that I don't fully agree with or follow, and there's things in there that I definitely agree with and follow. I don't really stick to strict guidelines of anything. I kind of just take what makes sense for my life and use it and just spit out the bones. Another question was, do you co-sleep? If so, what is the setup? So yes, we bed share. We have 2 beds pushed together with both of our kids, and we have my husband on the very edge, and then my toddler, then me, and then my youngest between me and the wall. We don't have any space between the wall. Our bed is on a very low profile bed frame on the floor. Low profile bed frame is important to have circulation going under your mattress so that your mattress or floor don't mold, and it's also important so that your child doesn't fall off and hurt themselves. So this has been our setup for, since my first was 3 months old. So it's been 4.5 years of doing this, and it's worked really well for us and we just love it. I do look forward to having my own personal space someday, but I also understand that this is a short, sweet season and I am enjoying it. Somebody was asking me about my tilted uterus experience. So I did mention in my birth story that in my pregnancy, or maybe it was in a pregnancy video, that I have a retroverted uterus that caused some issues in pregnancy, and I did resolve it on my own after reading some books that I have and perusing medical studies online and other articles. There's not much info on there, but from the info that I was able to find, it was enough for me and something that I was able to just go through on my own. So I'll share more about that in my video because it's a very rare situation. There's not much out there, and it might be helpful to some of you other rare women that might have this come up. Another question was my tandem feeding experience. We've had a great time tandem nursing, which means you nurse 2 babies at the same time. I nursed my first throughout my entire pregnancy, even though my milk dried up, and she was basically just comfort nursing. It wasn't fun. Sometimes it was torture, but I kept nursing because I just knew it was going to be beneficial for me when my baby arrives. I didn't have to experience engorgement again, and it was a way for me to stay connected with my first, and also for my first to connect with her new sister, and I really enjoyed it. We still tandem nurse. My first, I limit her to only night feeds now. I do plan to start weaning her and hopefully wean her by the time she's gonna be 5 in 2 months, and to wean her by then. That's probably something that I will update you guys in the future about how that is going. Last question, how has our transition been to 2 kids? I think it wasn't that bad. It was hard. Hard doesn't mean bad. I had a great support system in the first 5-6 weeks of postpartum. My husband was home for 2 or 3 of those weeks. My sister came, I had another friend come. It just made the transition a lot easier. Also, my first witnessed my entire labor process. She witnessed her sister being born, and I think that also helped the transition. There wasn't any jealousy, no negative feelings towards her sister. It was just a very smooth transition. I think some of the harder things were getting used to having to meet the needs of 2 children now versus 1. But because my oldest, she turned 3 2 weeks after my second was born, she was older, and so it was a lot easier. She was able to bring me diapers and wipes and bring me snacks and stuff. So it was just a lot easier to have that space. That came naturally because my period came back at 15 months postpartum, and then it took a year to get pregnant. Yeah, my time was just split between more kids, more needs. That was difficult. So that was my transition. Those are all the questions that you guys submitted. If you have any other questions, let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for being here. Let me know in the comments how you have been over the last year and a half. What changes have you experienced in your life? Maybe some New Year resolutions you have for this year. Thank you so much for being here.